What's going on, Dream Achiever, and welcome to another edition of Fountain's Free Game Fridays. I'm your host, Vitrell Fountain. Listen, I'm excited. I'm excited for it to be a new year. And the reason is that we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about setting some clear and effective goals for this new year. And I was thinking about talking about all these different things I can say to you, the stories, the examples. I just want to give you a classic example. And it's on the premises, on the lines of how do you write a 365 page motivational devotional in under 14 days? Like, that's going to be the premise. That's going to be the topic, a personal example. And it all started December the 17th. It's around 11 p.m. I'm doing my yearly reflection. Now, what my yearly reflection entails is me sitting in my office, got my candles lit, got my bottle of water, got the blinds open, and I'm just sitting there and I'm running through the days. That's what I like to say. I'm running through the days. I got my journal entries, I got my success agreements, I got it all laid out. I got every goal that I've listed from the last year and what I wanted to accomplish. And what I do is I go through it and I just run through the days. I try to figure out what happened this day, in this week, in this month. And so in tune, it gives me a yearly reflection on how the year turned out. And so what I came to conclusion was, I ain't gonna say it because my mama gonna watch this, but I got my butt whooped. That's how we gonna look at it. I got my butt handed to me, right? It was like Mike Tyson was 2023. He knocked me down and it bit my ear. I mean, it was that bad. So I was so excited to get rid of it. So like I was going through the list of the 20 odd so goals that I set for myself. And what I do is I put a check mark if I done it and I put an X if I didn't. And so I was going through them and I was like, X, X, X. I mean, I felt like George Strait, bro. All my exes live in Texas. Like, I had all these exes on my list, and I had got down to number 18. And I was like, oh, I actually done that. So I get to put a check mark right there. And then, so that means I have 18 exes and one check mark. And I was like, oh, I can't go out like that. I can't go 1 for 20. I got to go at least 2 for 20. So I was like, man, I got to do this. And my last thing on my goal list was to write a 365 page motivational journal. And the reason for the motivational journal is for you to have some sort of motivation to start your day. All it is a phrase, a quote, and a paragraph. Something to start your day so you can be uplifted, so you can have a better overall day. And that's for my non-readers out there too as well, for you to have a quick 2-minute read. And that was my goal. The problem was it's December the 17th at 11 o'clock p.m. and I had to write 365 pages. Now, I don't know if anybody's written a book out there, but the most common objective and the most common thing that hurts people that write books, the most common thing that you need is time. And that's something that I did not have. I didn't have a lot of time. I only had 14 days. And so I started having all these negative thoughts. And, Vitrell, you're about to go on vacation. I mean, Vitrell, you're about to go back home. You're about to fly back home. You have Christmas. You have all these things going on. You can't do this. So I did something that was so great for that moment. I went to bed because it was 11 o'clock at night. I couldn't do nothing then. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get some sleep. Next day I woke up. I still was having these thoughts, these negative thoughts about how I couldn't do it and all this time. And I don't have that much time. I only got 14 days. How am I going to get it done? But you know what happened? An epiphany happened. I made a choice. I made a conscious decision that I was going to do it. But it wasn't until, don't miss this, it wasn't until I wrote it down, I put a date on it, I listed the obstacles that are in my way. It wasn't until I identified the people, the organizations who could help me finish and publish the book. It wasn't until I created a definite plan of action. It wasn't until I set a deadline. It wasn't until I listed what was it in for me, like what was going to be the benefit for me writing this book. And it wasn't until I did all those 7 things that I finished the book in under 14 days. And it was 366 pages because it's a leap year next year. And so, Dream Achiever, I'm saying all of this because you have to make a conscious decision this year. You can choose to set goals. or you can choose not to set them. You can choose to be the best version of yourself, or you can choose not to be. But if you choose not to set the goals and accomplish them and become the best version of yourself, you're being selfish. But how am I being selfish by not setting any goals? Because not only if you don't choose to set goals, if you don't choose to become to be the best version of yourself, it not only hurts you, but it hurts the people that you're dependent on. It hurts the people that are depending on you. It hurts your spouse. It hurts your kids. It hurts your mama. It hurts your dad. It hurts your family. It hurts your community. It hurts that person that you don't even know that's dependent on you. And so while not setting any goals, you're being selfish, dream achiever. And I know you're not a selfish person. You're a selfless person. You're watching this because you want to be the best version of yourself. So I don't have any idea. I don't believe that none of you are not setting no goals this year. But I've given you the formula, those 7 steps. And so the reason for the formula is pretty simple. If I say what's 2 times 2, most of y'all can figure it out. But if I say what 21,756 times 700,784, y'all be like, ah. But if I gave you a pen and paper, you could figure it out. Why? Because you have the formula. You have the formula. So put a date on it. Write it down. Identify the obstacles in the way. Identify the people that can help you. Create a definite plan of action. Set a deadline. And list what is in it for me by accomplishing this. And by doing that, Dream Achiever, setting those goals, choose to set goals this year, because not only will you reap the benefits, but your spouse will reap the benefits, your kids will reap the benefits, your family will reap the benefits. And I know you don't want to disappoint them. I know you don't want to let them down. So let's all do them a favor and set goals and become the best version of yourself this year. And Dream Achiever, listen, I know you're going to have a great year, and I'll see you next week. And make the rest of your life the best of your life. I'll see you next week.